guys, Rob here. Today we're going to look at the Oztrail Deluxe 3 metre gazebo, and we'll set it up as well, give you a bit of a look on how to do that, especially if you're by yourself like I usually am when I go camping, a lot of solo camping, so often I'm setting this bad boy up on my own. I'll show you how to do that nice and easy. Obviously it's 3 metres by 3 metres, and the max height when it's all fully set up at the peak is about 335 centimetres high. We're also going to look at 2 different types of walls. We've got the mesh wall, which is fantastic for still letting a little bit of a breeze through, with the added benefit of not letting any bugs in, flies, that kind of thing. And we've also got the standard heavy duty blue wall. This guy is 300 denier polyester, very tough, very durable, has held up in several storms already. So we'll have a look at how to set these up properly. I know a lot of people often struggle putting these up, these side walls, and how to attach it and that sort of thing. You end up seeing people's walls of their gazebo flapping around like crazy, so we'll have a look at how to put that up properly. Now, a lot of people ask, why is it worth buying a deluxe 3 metre Oztrail gazebo? It does have some perks that other gazebos don't have. It also has an internal silver lining, which protects about 98% of the UV radiation coming through the top of your tent, which is fantastic. Obviously, we all want to be sun smart. Now, in the sides and the top, it has triple layered polyester coating. What that essentially means, the wear and tear areas, the corners of your gazebo, most likely areas that are going to tear when you're setting it up and pulling it down, has triple layer protection. Now, most other marquees on the market don't offer that kind of protection. You'll see when we set it up what I'm talking about, the areas in which I'm talking about that have that extra layer of protection, which obviously will lead to a longer life of your marquee. Also, it has a powder-coated steel frame. Now that makes a massive difference, guys. Being able to withstand strong winds, especially on the beach or just a windy area if a storm blows through, is paramount to a good marquee. You've got to have a strong frame, guys. How often do you go camping, especially on the beach, and you're driving home and you go past other campsites and there's just frames that are destroyed and bent? The Deluxe 3 metre gazebo, stainless steel, powder-coated frame, makes all the difference. And again, you'll see the quality of it when we set it up and have a look at it. The canopy of this marquee is also 300 denier polyester, so super strong, super durable, and again, keeps out so much of the radiation from the sun. A lot of marquees on the market just have the single silver push buttons. The Deluxe Gazebo here from Oztrail, Deluxe 3 metre, actually has proper push buttons that are reinforced. What that essentially means is you don't get your finger caught inside where the silver button is, like on other marquees, and they're super easy to undo and click in. And again, when we set it up, you'll see what I'm talking about there. Those of you with a keen eye might see some roos behind me as well here on the property. There's about 10 down there at the moment bouncing around. Nice little backdrop for our marquee and our setup. All right, guys, let's get into it. Another benefit of the Oztrail Deluxe 3 metre is the bag that you get it in. Now, it does have a little carry bag here that a lot of people put the top of the marquee into there just for a bit more protection. I tend to find I don't need to do that. Plus, it saves me having to put the top cover on every single time I go to use the marquee. So at the moment, that's just empty. You could put pegs in there or whatever you like, essentially. It also does have these clips and these straps to keep the actual unit tight and compact when you're packing it away or storing it or putting it in the back of the four-wheel drive. There is a strap at the top and a strap at the bottom. It also does come, I hope the camera can see this, but it does come with 2 wheels at the bottom of the bag there as well. So two wheels and 2 handles, one here, one at the bottom so you can pick it up nice and easy. But obviously the handle allows you to wheel it wherever you need to go. Obviously it doesn't work too great on sand, but when you're out and about in a setting like this, obviously it makes it a lot easier to get from your car or your four-wheel drive to wherever it is you're looking to set up. Now, obviously other things you're going to need to help set this up is a hammer, some pegs, and if you're at the beach or in sandy area, some sand pegs will go a long, long way, guys. These things are fantastic. All right, so first thing you want to do is work out where you want to set up your marquee, obviously. I've decided here's a great spot. There's no trees above me, no branches that can fall down through the night. So what you want to do then is I've laid out my ground sheet. You don't have to have a ground sheet, obviously, but they are handy to have at camp. What you want to do is place your marquee in the center of your ground sheet, like I have here, and then take him out of the bag. Open him up just a little bit. Just so it's freestanding. Now, a good trick, guys, with anything you go take camping and it's got a bag, do the bag up when you're not using it. So we've taken it out of the marquee, out of the bag, and do it up. Now, why do we do that, do you think? It keeps spiders and snakes out of your bags. So when you go to pack it up, you don't have to worry about there being any creepy crawlies in there. Now, obviously, I camp solo a lot, so I put this up and down on my own. The first thing we do is you separate all the ropes, all the tie down points, so they're not all tangled up. So again, pick it up, center to wherever you want to place it. Now I've already put my ground sheet out. My ground sheet's 3 by 3 meters, so I know that roughly my marquee will end up in this dimension. All you simply do, guys, open it up just slowly. Walk around each corner because you'll find that the legs will dig into the ground. Pull up the center bar where the V's are and just go around. Now if you're in sand and you're by yourself, this may prove a bit tricky. You may have to walk around a few times. But since we're on nice solid ground here with a ground sheet, it's relatively easy. So again, just keep walking around. Find now that the bars inside are actually pretty high. So what we can do here, at this point, fold up a corner like that, grab the top bar and you just push it up. Clicks in, that corner's done. Again, fold this up, click it in. That's a camping tag from a previous camping trip. You can pull that back down, pull down the cover and your final corner and pull it down. Now essentially, your marquee is pretty much up, but obviously we want to line it up to where our campsite is. You lift these up first, so I go to the first installment. There we go. First click. Just hold the leg up, guys. Use your foot to push it down. And yeah, it looks a little drunk right now, but that's because we're doing it solo. It'll all be fine in just a moment. Lift that up. And there you go. You're up and running. Now, a lot of people just peg up the guy ropes, and that's fine. If you're camping for a few days and there's a slight chance it might get windy or anything like that, what I suggest you do first is go around and peg the actual legs in. What that'll do is secure your floor as well as like an extra layer of protection against strong wind for your marquee in case the wind picks up. Grab your leg, put your floor underneath it. The main hole lines up there just nicely. Now obviously by having a ground sheet that's 3 by 3, the same size, what you've done is you've ensured that your legs are in the exact position for a 3 by 3 marquee, which means also if you're putting the walls in, you know it's not going to stretch and you know you're going to actually make it fit. Now once you've got it to the height you desire and you've got the 4 corners pegged in, what you want to do now is your guy ropes. I highly recommend doing these guys. If you don't and the wind picks up, you're going to end up being that guy in the middle of the night out there in the dark with your headlamp on, tinging away, doing a ting of shame. Now if you've camped before, you'll all know that ting of shame. That late night when all of a sudden it's all peaceful and quiet and the wind picks up and then you hear this ting, 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 ting in the middle of the night. Don't let that be you. So to avoid that, we do our guy ropes. Now as for length on this part of your guy rope, totally depends on what's around you, how much room you have. As long as it's taut when it's put in, that's all you need. So it can be all the way down here, your guy rope hanging out miles, or it can be up nice and high and just relatively close to your tent, to your marquee. Obviously remember, the further you take it out, the more likely it is to be a trip hazard. So just keep that in mind. Now you can tie your guy ropes to your car, save you having to peg down. Just remember to always peg your guy ropes the opposite direction of where the most wind will come from. On the 45 angle is great most of the time. If you're at the beach and the beach is that way, and the wind's coming in, you're going to want to go across into the wind essentially, helping keep the marquee pegged down to the ground, fighting the wind essentially. And there you have it. All guy ropes are in. Your marquee is secure. People often wonder the best way to set these up. They usually just hang down underneath like that. What they actually do is keep the center of your marquee at the top of the pole, at the top there. So obviously you want the pole to line up with that little X just nicely, and that way you know that your tent cover is lined up perfectly. So that's why they have one on each side. So what you want to do, go around and get them all into the right position, and what you'll find is that will line up. This here is just one of those triple layers I was talking about earlier, a bit of more protection on the deluxe gazebos compared to a lot of other gazebos on the market. This will just be the standard polyester normally, but obviously you've got a mechanism there that will eventually tear through without that little bit of extra protection. So again, hence the word deluxe gazebo. It's little things like that that all add up. So you might find that when you've got the gazebo up, that this is just sort of hanging over the front or loose or twisted around itself. What you want to do is have it go up behind the back of the gazebo like that, and it's actually going to lock in down into here. A lot of people put them on here, but there is actually, at least on this deluxe gazebo, a little slot for them to lock into. So again, another feature of having the 3 metre deluxe gazebo. All these little things definitely add up, guys. So again, what you want to do, pull that down, lock it into there. It's not going anywhere, so I can get that to focus. There we go, sort of. Apologies for the lighting. And then pull it just a little bit taut, and obviously, as you can see, this here is now central to that side. Now what you want to do is rinse and repeat around all 4 sides. You may also find that you'll line one up and you'll just think, gee, that's really out of control there. It's really not going to line up properly for the center. Now, don't be too rough with it, guys. Basically, loosen off the connection there. So this is relatively loose right now. And then gently pull. And if you're finding that it's getting stuck somewhere, or it's not coming across, obviously, try and loosen one of the other ones that you've already set up, just to give it a little bit more play. And once you've got it loosened, you'll be able to find that you'll be able to wiggle this around a lot more. Now that I've loosened the other sides, you'll find I've got a lot more play in that now. So I'll lock that in to here. Again, I'm trying to do this while holding the camera, guys, so apologies if it looks a little rough. And you grab that, you'll be able to pull it down and through. And there you go, locked into place. Okie doke. Our gazebo's up. I've only set it to the first click. The wall will reach the floor when we set it up on all 3 clicks. However, I'm just going to set it up to this height today. It doesn't really matter. The wall will still work the way it's intended. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it out of the bag and we're going to hook it up and show you guys how to do it properly. That way it won't fall down or flap around all night. So we take him out of the bag. You'll also be able to see, guys, in this shot that you still can see through the mesh wall, which is fantastic as well. Still let the breeze through, still see through it, yet you still have that sort of privacy from insects and things. So first thing you want to locate when you open the bag is the Oztrail logo. By doing that, you'll be able to work out which way faces out. So Oztrail logo faces out, so that goes that corner there. But you want to find this little silver clip, and that will go up inside the marquee here. The other way you know you're at the top is you're going to have these Velcro tabs. Now on these 3 metre gazebos by Oztrail, the deluxe ones, you will get the Velcro female side on the wall, and the male side will already be attached to the roof of the gazebo. And essentially all you do here is you clip up into the silver clip, go on the inside of the frame. What I mean by that is in between the frame and the actual roof of the canopy. Clip it into there, put your Velcro tab up. There is a little another tie here as well, so we'll do that. And these ties, just keep it nice and taut, nice and secure, so that way it's not going to fall down. Again, you just work your way along. There is a Velcro tab here, another little link that goes up inside again of the marquee and the roof of the canopy, and attach that onto there like so. Keeps it nice and tight. Again, carry on the inside section to this other Velcro tab, and then there you'll get another little silver link that goes up into this corner. Again, there's another safety tie there, so we'll tie that up, and that's the top section of it done. And you can see what I mean about the mesh. Hopefully on the camera you can pick it up, but you still can see through it. Now on the sides, you do get Velcro tabs as well that go around your pole. My tip here is don't do them up too tight too early, because whilst they are designed to be nice and taut, when you get to the other side where you've just come from, you want to be able to line it up properly. So don't go too tight on these just yet. And one down the bottom. Now you're going to see it's a little bit crunched up, but that's because I haven't gone to the full extension of the leg. When you're at full extension of your legs, it is nice and flat and taut. But I don't need it that high, I'm not that tall. So as you can see, it's a little bit taut in the center there, guys, because you just got to get these tabs in the right positions. And you can see what I mean. If you were to go the full extension of the height, it would sit just nicely. And that's essentially your side mesh wall on. Alrighty guys, so now you've seen the mesh wall. What we're going to set up now is the solid heavy duty wall, 3 meters. It does have a zip on one side, so you can make it into a 6 meter wall. So if you have a double gazebo, you can actually have two walls on one side and they'll join up together to make a nice little seal. So it's the same as the mesh wall principle. Hook in the corner, Velcro, safety ties, hook in the corner, Velcro, safety ties, with the center having the large Velcro strap. So I'll quickly put it up. I won't go into too much detail. Basically, I just want you to see what the blue side looks like. You can get these in white as well. And obviously what I'm going to focus on mainly here is just to show you how to fold it up to get it back into the bag. Nice and snug like this. It's a lot easier to show you with the actual coloured wall other than the mesh wall, which is a bit hard to see on the camera. So again, we just find the Oztrail logo. Make sure that's pointing outwards and it's readable from the outside. And again, the same process as the mesh wall. I'm not going to bother with the bottom straps just for this demonstration. So as you can see, guys, it does match the top cover of the marquee, same colouring, and by going the correct way with the inserts and the hooks, you can see that no water is going to get in and you'll be fully sealed inside there with no dramas at all. This side has the zip, so if you want to attach to another wall, you can do so. I don't run it that way, so I don't have the secondary wall, but you could also put that onto the mesh wall that we set up earlier if you had the mesh wall going that way. Double lined, 300 denier canvas and silver lining on the inside, so no, well, very limited amount of UV will get through that. It is quite dark on the inside once you have all walls set up. So what we'll do now is show you how to pack it down. What I'd suggest is undoing the top first, particularly if it's windy. At least if you just do the top first, you will actually get some protection from the wind because your sides will still be attached. So then undo your sides, just grab the two ends from the top as if you are hanging it, so you'll have the silver hooks, one in each hand. I fold it in on itself, and whichever way the wind's blowing, work with the wind, not against it. So have your two corners together. Excuse my back to the camera, but that's just the way the wind is blowing. Fold it in again on itself, just like that. So again, we're going with the squares rule here, guys. You want things to be a square or a rectangle. Let it fold out on itself. Try and straighten it up a little bit. And then one more time. You will find it starts to balloon out a little bit. Just grab hold of it so it straightens up. Everything's in sort of a line. Again, work with the wind. Fold it over. Remember, we're trying to get into a small square bag. Fold it over again. Onto itself, and you can start to see we're not far away from being able to fit it into the bag. And once more, squash it down, get the air out. The key is to get all the air out. And since it's already in a nice little square shape, it'll just go into your bag nice and easy. Get that front corner in. Straighten it up and around. Tuck it in. Now the bags only have a single zip, so make sure the side with the zip you get in nice and snug like that, so that's pretty good. Zip it up, just like that. Tuck in the top corner. Just about there. Try and turn it around so I can have you guys see it. And then the front corner here. And job done. Alrighty guys, this is it. It's time to pack up, go home. The worst part of camping, I think. Now it's pretty easy to pull this marquee down. Basically you reverse the order that you put it up in and start with your outside guy ropes and then the inside pegs on the poles, and then you'll be able to collapse it all down once you undo the hinges. Let's get into it. As you can see, another benefit of pegging down the poles is that even though it is a little bit blustery right now, with the guy ropes unpegged, it's still not going anywhere, guys. You don't have to worry about someone holding it down while you do the guy ropes and that kind of thing. I tend to get to this point and leave one peg still in, and then I'll drop it down another level to the lowest setting. This just ensures that the marquee isn't going to blow away. And since you've already undone 3 of the pegs, the marquee has room to move, so having one peg down still isn't an issue. Lift the corners, again these little yellow tabs, push it in and it will de-click. Lift up your corner here, use the latch, de-clicks, all four corners. At this point now, I would look to take this peg out. Also guys, don't forget to undo your little hooks on the sides here. I like to do it at this point because it's actually taut, so you know that when you unpeg them, the next time you set it up, it's not going to be all tensioned, and it will give you room to move the roof of the marquee when you set it up next time. Just make sure they're not sitting in a place where they're going to get caught again when you push it all together. Now this is relatively simple. Again, you may have to walk around the gazebo because your legs will tend to get caught in the dirt or the sand or something like that. And again, don't be rough with it guys. Treat it with a bit of care and respect. And normally these things treat you the same way back. Bring it all together. Now you're ready to put the bag on, so let's do that. Alrighty guys, now with the bag just remember to unzip it because we've zipped it up to keep all the bugs out while we're camping. Now the easiest way I find to do this is to open up the ends so it has a clear opening. Now make sure you can see the entire base of the bag. This will be very important when you go to put the legs in. Again, if you've got two people, it is a lot easier, obviously. But like I said, I often go solo camping quite a bit, so it's nice to be able to do it by yourself. So I just gather all my ropes so they're not going anywhere. Pick it up as one piece. Now this may look a little awkward, but it is going in. So it's sitting in there just nicely. Now before you try and lift up the bag, make sure that all the bag's lining isn't caught underneath the legs. And we're looking pretty good there. So now we can lift up our bag and bring it over. By having that already set, our bag now, again it will be a little tight, is able to come around and be hooked on. Apologies, I got this around the wrong way for the camera. So you can see there that it just sits over the top just nicely, just like that. Feed it around on itself. And then you'll be able to do the top zip up just like that. And then with the sides, feed it all in. It's going to be a little bulky. It will compress once you do the zipper up. And once you get over this top corner here, try and get out of the way for the camera. There you go. What you want to do now is lie it down. Because what you got to remember guys is it has a zip at the bottom. So you get all your guy ropes, tuck them in. Now just be careful when you get up to where your roof is on your tent, just so you don't tear the roof of the canopy with the zipper. It's unlikely to happen, but you never know. So just be a little bit careful with it. Standing back up. Do your little clips up to tie it all together. You may need to loosen them. Clip it in. And then, have your strap so it's straight and not got any twists in it. Do it up, tighten it up. Again, same with the bottom. Make sure there's no loops in it. Undo it just a little bit. Clip it in. Tighten it up straight. You have just packed up your gazebo. Time to put it in the truck.